And welcome back to this edition of Attorneys on Call. A little different topic. We are discussing home foreclosures right now with Bill Bost, our guest, who is a North Carolina attorney who practices in this area. Bill, thank you for being here on the show with us. And Ben Whitley, of course, from the Whitley Law Firm. Ben, you brought Bill in because he has been doing this a long time. And you hear from a lot of folks that have asked you to address this issue on the program. And so it's a great opportunity for us to expand on that a little bit.
Right, and I think that's our duty with this show is to get people information, and I think this has been really helpful.
Back to the home foreclosure bill. Let's talk about how the process happens. Is it when Joe misses a payment, and then right away the bank is calling and saying you missed your payment, we're going to foreclose? What happens? Take us through the basics, because a lot of people may not understand.
Well, there's two answers to your question. There's the legal answer, and then there's the practical answer.
Okay.
And the legal answer is any default on the note gives the lender the right to foreclose. So technically, a single missed payment will give rise to a right to foreclose in your lender.
Technically, that could happen.
Technically, that could happen.
Okay.
Practically, what happens is it generally takes about 3 missed payments before the lender starts sending nasty letters.
Okay.
Generally. Once the nasty letters start coming, it probably takes another couple months. Almost always there's an opportunity to catch up, to cure the default is what that's called.
Okay.
And generally, if a default is cured, they restart the clock. Now, one of the things we hadn't talked about is the effect on your credit. One missed mortgage payment has pretty significant adverse effects on your credit. When you cure the default, that adverse effect on your credit report doesn't go away. So one missed payment can have significant
And that'll stay on your credit report. Now, a lot of times you have a grace period in there, don't you?
Generally, it's 30 days. That's about all that lenders give
Okay.
on a mortgage loan like this.
Right.
30 days, maybe 60, but not much more than that.
What about these cases where we've heard about people that said to themselves, okay, I owe more money on this house than it's actually worth in today's market, so I'm just going to walk away. I mean, we hear about these cases, and I'm thinking to myself, that can't be good.
That's a difficult question. In some circumstances, I have advised clients to stop making their mortgage payments.
Okay.
And in some circumstances, that is the best financial decision to make. One of the things I think is important to remember is that most borrowers don't want to be in this situation. They
Sure.
didn't cause a loss of job. They didn't cause a bad loan. They really didn't understand their loans in a lot of circumstances. But nobody wants to be in this spot. I was taught, I grew up down here, I was taught to pay back the people that loaned me money.
Yeah.
And all of us were. And so
Yeah.
whenever we have a significant debt that we can't pay, we have really big problems with that.
Yep.
For a lot of the problem loans, the products were never good for the borrower. They're not very quick about responding to these problems. They're not very good, as a general rule, at listening to reasonable solutions. So sometimes, if you can't speak reasonably about a reasonable solution, walking away from a home or stopping payments is a solution.
Interesting.
I wouldn't do that without a lawyer's help.
Right.
And the other thing is, a house where the debt is greater than the value of the house as a financial asset is worth nothing. And so continuing to pay an inflated payment on an asset that's worth nothing to you doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes.
Right.
I don't encourage anybody to go out and stop making their mortgage payments, but talking to a lawyer or somebody that understands the situation can help you figure out an answer where none appears.
So what are the long-term, what are the ramifications? Guy goes through a foreclosure, he and his wife are in a tough spot, can't make the payments. They said, you know what, look, I got to foreclose. I mean, they're going to take the house. We're going to move in with Sister Susie across the country, whatever. What are the ramifications for that?
Of walking away from a mortgage?
Yeah, or what happens? I mean, are those people pretty much, is there a credit ruin for 10 years? Is it more than that? What happens?
the length of period that credit reports are damaged is a difficult question, and it depends on a lot of things. It's not a 10-year problem. It probably is more of a 4 or 5-year problem. We talked earlier about deficiency judgments.
Yeah.
That's another consequence. But that's about it. If you have an aggressive creditor who wants to collect, they can try to collect the judgments. I haven't seen many. I know that they're out there. I haven't seen many. Bankruptcy also can take care of the creditor who tries to collect. Bankruptcy is not a requirement, but bankruptcy is a very good tool for people in this spot. It's kind of an interim step.
Okay.
But it's not necessary. Bankruptcy has its own problems. So talking to a lawyer about the different options is important, because for people who have a house that's worth less than their mortgage and who have financial problems, it seems like an intractable problem. And some help with figuring out the options and the solutions is valuable.
So what would you recommend for folks that are watching that may be in this boat, they have a friend, a relative that could be in this boat, calling an attorney? It seems to me what you're saying is calling an attorney who practices in this area early on in the process is the way to go.
Yes, it is. And one of the ways it's not to go is to get on the internet and find some guys in California or Texas who offer a quick solution.
Okay.
My advice is to find a lawyer in the community that knows folks. Local. These are difficult issues, but good lawyers can help you solve them, and good lawyers can get you to a lawyer who can help you solve them. One of my things that I really don't like, and one of the reasons I talked to Ben about this, is there are lawyers and others who offer what they call loan modification services.
Okay.
Some of them are good. Most of them are not. What people need in this situation is not just a loan modification. They need some real legal counseling and credit counseling, and that's a lot more than loan modification.
We've got about 40 seconds to go, Ben. I know you'd probably like to thank Bill and kind of get things wrapped up here.
Good, I do. Thanks for coming on, and we'll have to get you back on and talk about some more stuff. And I just encourage folks to call the 1-800 number. I will get you in touch with Bill if this is something that you've listened to and you want some additional information, and we can get you those resources that Bill talked about with the Banking Commission self-help programs. So thanks again for watching.
Ben's also very good with emails, so if you don't for some reason want to pick up the phone, you can certainly email Ben and he'll get in touch with Bill also, right?
That's correct.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching today. This has certainly been a fascinating conversation. Bill Bost, thank you so much for coming in here today and answering a lot of these questions. And we hope you've enjoyed watching today's program. For everybody here, I'm Drew Smith. This has been Attorneys on Call. Have a great day, everybody.